Hey, what's up? I'm Eric Porter, Diamondback team rider. I've been working with the product crew here on the new Level Link suspension platform. We've been testing it for the last 4 years. I've done everything from 76-mile cross-country races to riding off volcanoes in Guatemala. The most important thing about setting up your Level Link suspension is setting the sag correctly. So that's around 30% in the rear and 20-25% in the front. And what that's going to do is basically make your suspension work how it's supposed to for your weight specifically. The Level Link suspension platform makes for a really efficient pedaling bike, which means that I typically don't even need to turn on the lockout on my shock when I'm climbing, and I actually prefer to ride climbs with the shock open because it helps out with traction over roots and rocks and that sort of thing and keeps the suspension a bit more active. One of the things I keep an eye on my suspension is the O-rings. And that's what you use to set the sag on your bike when you're setting it up. And it's also what you're going to keep an eye on at the end of a big downhill or at the end of your ride. And you want to make sure that you've used most of your suspension travel during the ride. And you also want to make sure that it's even front to back so that your bike feels balanced. So when we first started designing the Level Link suspension, we wanted a really nimble, quick, efficient rear end on the bike. And so we accomplished that with the 130 rear travel. However, we also knew what kind of terrain we wanted to get into, and so we bumped the front travel up to 150, and then we built the geometry around that so it's set perfect from the beginning, and the bike feels really balanced front to back and climbs like a champ, but also downhill is anything you want to go down. One of my favorite things about the Level Link is that we have all of the hardware on the non-drive side, so you're not pulling your cranks, it's all easy to access. And it takes me less than 10 minutes to pull all my pivots, clean them off, grease them, and throw them back in. The Level Link is the most efficient and fun suspension platform we've ever built. Don't be afraid to get in there and tinker with it till it feels good, and we'll see you out on the trail.